of Auskick going on here tonight. Conditions are a bit of an issue, though. And first of all, the wind had a little bit of rain. Then they got going. And the drop kick, it's an unusual choice. That's what the Auskickers do. They experiment, they enjoy, and they've always got a smile on the dial. And when it's a chance to celebrate, they do just that. And we absolutely love the Auskickers at half-time here in Sydney. 7-point advantage with the Sydney Swans.
Yeah, very competitive Carlton, who won the second quarter. And they'll be feeling as though they are a chance to cause an upset. Josh Kennedy, though, 20 possessions. He has had an enormous night, 15 of those contested, 8 clearances. Let's get down to Lingy. Hey, is he sort of shaping as a Brownlow medal chance now that Gary Ablett is out for the rest of the year, Lingy?
Well, he's got to be, Das. And nights like this, as you just mentioned, his first half has just been massive. In a game where it's been hard to win the footy, he just keeps on winning it. He's there in amongst the action every game he plays. This isn't a game in isolation either. He's been terrific all year. He wins the footy. He also hurts you on the outside a little bit. I think he's got to add more goal kicking to his repertoire. But he's the type of player who we well and truly underneath the umpires' noses and will factor in Brownlow night. Carlton have got to do something about it. They've got to limit his influence in this second half. Chris Judd's had a bit of a role there, maybe Bryce Gibbs as well, but maybe they actually send somebody with a hard tag to him and say he can't have 20 possessions in a half like he did in that first half.
Cameron Ling down there as they're about to get their second half under the way. And Carlton warming up at one end. Sydney jumping out of their positions. Umpires are just about ready to go in the middle. Big job, and can Carlton maintain the rage that they have in this first half so far?
We had the discussion about Chris Judd and talked today about him potentially doing a Kane Corns run with style, and I don't necessarily think that's the case, but to me he would be someone that you would say, okay, go and take responsibility for Kennedy. I mean, we're talking about one of the best midfielders in a Rolls-Royce, Judd. He knows exactly the tricks of how to make sure you get in front. He might kick a couple the other way as well, but he's out of control, Kennedy. Why not put one of the best of all time head-to-head and see how you go?
He's such a hard man to stop, though, isn't he? Because he wins it in the contest. His clearance and contested possession work is not far off the best in the AFL, so he just makes it so hard to stop this man. Don't forget Bryce Gibbs. I reckon he's playing a pretty good game around the contest as well. He's had 6
some good
clearances.
form.
Yeah, he's in really good form. Signed a new deal to stay at Carlton. Had many people talking about him going back to Adelaide, but he's recommitted to the Blues, and he's playing great footy.
Adam Goods tonight playing game 342, moving past Chris Grant's record, 14th on the all-time list of games played. Adam Goods. Doug Hawkins is next, 350 games. So Goods at 342, Doug Hawkins at 350. Start of the second half here in Sydney. Rain has ceased once again. Off hands Pike, and there he is, the man we speak of.
Mike. Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, blowing the whistle really quickly there. It's good. Get the ball back in play quickly.
McVeigh heeling off for Smith. Difficult kick around the corner that he made look easy to read. Reed now turns and goes long. Caught behind here is good. Yaron got back, but just dropped a mark he probably should have taken in the end there, Chris Yaron. And now Kane Simpson, as a result, is under pressure. Tui's kick is high. It's a 3-on-2 Sydney's way. Reed may well be in range here.
He's decided to hand it off to Buddy, though.
He has, and Buddy's always within range, but not necessarily accurate.
Yeah, I think Cristiano will look at that mark, and he will have a look at it again and just think, one I really should have taken. Maybe just a little flinch there at the end for Yaron. But they have got back and made sure that they have given that extra help. On that occasion it was Goods, but we haven't seen too many one-on-ones in the Sydney forward line. It's something that Mick Moldhouse has orchestrated really well.
Rowe goes down the line, drawing Henderson to the footy, and he had really good jukes on that. Couldn't quite cap it off. Incredible handball by Dale Thomas. All in the one action. Murphy.
Yeah, the Blues have taken 7 marks from the Swans' kicks inside the Swans' forward 50, so they've been really good at getting back and supporting their defenders tonight.
Hold there. Right on. Move it on. Play on. You, mate.
Walker from half back to half forward. Casbolt, just the one hand on it. Reel it in, but he at least brought it to the ground. And now a real scrap.
It's hard to remember a goal being scored tonight from a play that started in each team's defensive 50. Hasn't been a lot of transition. It's been a pretty good defensive effort.
I reckon the only one is Gary Rowan on the run.
Yeah, it's about it, I reckon.
Yep. McGlynn, Josh Kennedy, hands, partial interception, Judd involved. Likewise, so yet another stoppage here. See the runner loitering there in the goal in the centre square. Let's just give you a message and get off. Waiting to get at someone in amongst this stoppage, perhaps.
Play untouched.
Certainly spectating at the moment. Yaron, Parker, Kennedy twisting out of trouble. Got it along the line. Rowe tackled by Reed. Can he get rid of it? Umpire gave him plenty of time and said it was all okay. Smith back inside Kennedy. Lovely little flip handball. McVeigh now looking for Buddy. This time it's Buddy's free.
Yeah, Daisy Thomas, and it was just a real mismatch, and Daisy had a bit of a jumper grab. Always going to be a bit nervous when you're up against the big gun forward, Richo.
And it was a good kick by McVeigh. He just plonked it into the right space. Franklin was just going to come back onto the footy, and Thomas...
Look at Buddy
Thomas
trying
panicked.
to lessen the angle there. Mark Murphy pointing out to the umpire. No, he's got to go back there because it does matter when he's kicking it. Now he's stepped to the right again there when the umpire wasn't looking. It should be just called play on. Franklin from only 25 to 30 metres out. Kick on the way, and he nails it. Buddy gets his first of the night. There's the kicking action by Buddy Franklin. He liked it off the boot the moment he made contact. Back out by 13 here, Sydney. They have been out by as high as 19 tonight. There's Kennedy again. They are all over him.
Step right, step right.
Here in the second half, having done so much damage in the first. Here he is again with first hands on it. This time Bell advances. Casbolt pushing back as hard as he could. Off hands Thomas.
That's a great effort by Casbolt. Just pushed back enough where he could bring the ball down to the front, and that's his job if he can't mark it. Lost the ball there, the crowd, down it comes.
Me. Up there, Ed. What's
It's important now that Carlton, when they do get the ball in their forward half of the ground, that they do lock it in. They have to own the ball in their half. They're able to do that in the second quarter, and that's how they scored goals. That's good now. They get a boundary throw in. At the very least, you force Sydney to kick long down the line, reset up. They don't want any of those quick plays where Sydney can get it out over the back and get it into their forward line quickly.
Hold there.
So good result, Lingy says, for the Blues here. Gives them a chance to resettle and lock it in. Big handball to Judd, who just came off the interchange bench there with some confusion with Chris Yaron, which they eventually sorted out. And another throw in. Judd organising things and arranging where the players need to go. Parker on the run, couldn't quite trap it. Now Walker at half-back. Difficult kick around the corner. Got to compete here, White, and he did well. Sat under the ball. McGlynn, did he take it out? Umpire said it's okay, and Mel Malcheski sat on.
Leave it. Come on, leave it.
All of the senior coaches being called for dinner at Gil McLachlan, the AFL CEO's place tomorrow night. I think Darcy, is it John Longmire along with Paul Roos that aren't attending?
Yeah, both have got TV commitments.
Step right.
Read that today, and I like that from the new big boss, Gil McLachlan. It's a personal thing, isn't it? Everyone, the coaches at your house.
Highly unusual in the middle of a season. Never happened before.
It's never a good time, is it? Because coaches go away, I suppose, after the season, but obviously it's something that he values, trying to improve the relationship between head office and the coaches.
Rowan, Murphy. Would nail it out of there. Henderson thought about the handball, and then the kick out wide was good to Andreas Everett. He's got a race with Jetta. Tried to basketball style around the back almost there. Andreas Everett. And now Smith gets a real good opportunity to advance the footy to Buddy Franklin. Loves to wield and go, Franklin. This to Cunningham. Doherty got there. He rolled the dice.
Gee, that was an important spoil there. Sorry to cut in, BT, by Doherty, because Reid and Goods were both ahead of the footy with only one Carlton player. If Cunningham could have taken that, it would have been almost a certain Sydney goal.
Yeah, it was well done. Really well done by Doherty. Third man up in the contest was Parker.
Play on.
Warnock peels off a little handball to Judd. Judd looking for the give and go there. Handball on the ground from Johnson, who
Deliberate.
kicked that important goal before half-time.
Play on. Play on.
Deliberate, said the umpire. McVeigh to Jeddah.
Play on.
He'll definitely want to go, and this is to Sydney's advantage. McGlynn just read it better.
Gee, they did that well, though. The kick inboard from
Thanks, Ed.
McVeigh initially from the boundary line. They just worked it across the ground. They left all of that space on the fat side of the ground. It was almost a set play. See this kick here from Jeddah. They had all of this to the left of your screen, all of that space open for the Swans players to lead into.
11 goals from his 13 games this year. McGlynn steps to the plate, and that's not bad, but in the way is the timber work. Great look at the old stands here at the SCG. New stand in the background there. The Don Bradman stand.
I love the renovation they've done here, BT. They've kept the great character, the old stand, and added a nice modern stand as well alongside of it.
Pike, long and high. Mark taken Reid. He's kicked a couple in the game. And he's going to get a look from about 20 out directly in front.
That's where they are just going to be so hard to beat Sydney down there. The stretch as we head into September, it's got so many talented options. Just find it hard to keep them all quiet for four quarters. At some point, one of them are going to bob up and kick a couple.
For a 20-point game-high lead, Reid to kick his third, and he does.
Great sign for Sydney. Sam Reid running, jumping and marking the footy. 3 goals so far tonight. So important. Buddy Franklin, we know how good he is. Tippett, of course, when he's back. But Reid's the one who's probably had the quietest season of them all. But gee, if he can jump up, that takes Sydney to a whole new level again. Who do you go to? Who do you put your best defender on? It really makes the opposition guess.
It's a big upside, isn't it? He's taken 3 marks in this half, Reid. It's a good point to make, Lingy. Around the corner goes Gibbs. Long and deep, but Richards read it best. And now Grundy just eases the ball to McVeigh. This familiar chipping little game that Sydney have to maintain possession. This time they kick it to a one-on-one. Goods, obviously a crowd favourite here, and why not? Given them such brilliant service.
He's had 9 clearances now. Josh Kennedy, he has to be a chance, Dust, for the Brownlow. What's your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I think so. I think given the amount of games that Sydney have won, if they get home tonight, we know it's 12 in a row. They'll be on top of the ladder, 4 points clear. And when you're around the footy and you play the way he does, to me, he epitomises everything that the Brownlow's about. So he'd be a really worthy winner. Josh Kennedy.
So Goods receiving the free in the stoppage here.
For a holding in, BT, paid by the umpire away from the stoppage. Umpires, the non-officiating umpire are all over those these days. There's going to be no holding around stoppages.
So just getting out of hand a little here at the moment for the Blues. Adam Goods from 45 out, normally reliable, make it a 26-point Sydney lead. This is the free kick. Here's the hold.
The jumper was cool.
Yep.
That's just absolutely ridiculous. Why would you think you're going to get away with that? As soon as they see a bit of a jumper, tongue Andrew Walker, and you get nothing out of it. He had no reason to do it.
Sensational bounce by Mollison in the middle.
It's back on that Brownlow talk. We know Nate Fife is ineligible. A bit of talk on the radio today from Mike Sheehan that he should be eligible, that they should take that component out of the Brownlow now.
Being such a minor infringement.
Yeah. I was brought in for, you know, the thuggery, not the minor infringements.
The very unfair play was brought in for. Now Buddy is lining up from 60. Man on the marks at 55. Franklin to really get the fans excited. From 60 metres out, he belts a big ball. Buddy Franklin.
Richo, never been regarded as great a player as he is as a sensational contested mark. I think that's something he's improved this year. We saw him ragdoll row on that occasion and take the mark and go back and kick this one from 60. Is it something he's improved?
Yeah, definitely. Especially maybe the first month of the year, no, but since then, he's definitely improved his contested marking.
3 goals in 3 minutes for Sydney. They've kicked the last 5 of the game.
I think for a couple of years there, he had a thumb complaint, which was affecting his marking. I think he's definitely all over that now. And he's getting more confidence in it.
Jamison out to Casbolt.
It's never going to be a stand and deliver pack mark like a Casbolt can take a pack mark, but if he gets into a one-on-one situation, he's good at manoeuvring his man out of the contest and taking those chest marks like he just did then.
You underestimate just how powerful a unit. He's 102 kilos, 198 centimetres. He runs so fast and he's so good at ground level, so athletic, but that's still a massive unit, isn't it, to try and beat in a one-on-one mark?
He's the best big man the game's ever seen at ground level, I reckon.
He's not unlike our man Matthew Richardson here, almost the same dimensions.
Absolutely.
The same athleticism.
There's been no one his size do the things that he's done at ground level, though, in the history of the game.
No, he's been incredible.
Push, Sydney, push.
Sydney controlling this quarter. They've kicked all of the goals, and it's 8-2. I think it was 8-2 inside 50s for the quarter in favour of Sydney. And as I say, they've kicked the last 5 goals, and they lead it by 32 points now. Carlton's just starting to wobble with this game plan that have so bravely shown us in the first half.
Roddy.
Casbolt. Nice. Gibbs just after the footy at ground level.
Fine.
Getting smashed on the inside now. The Blues are so good for 2 quarters, but double the contested ball to the Swans in this quarter.
Play on.
Gee, look at this.
Fine.
Look at this.
Right. Come back.
Bird's eye view from
Play on.
the opposite end to the new stand. Bird now
Sweet.
around the corner trying to find Lloyd.
Got him.
Good crowd in tonight. I'm not really great at measuring crowds here, but I would say 3/4 full here tonight. Good result. Beautiful venue. Great atmosphere in this venue. Not unlike Adelaide, although Adelaide is unequalled, and there they go on the stoppage again. This time it's McVeigh joining the party.
A little too easy, that one,
Yeah.
wasn't it? I won't be happy. Richo mentioned the contested possessions around the stoppages, and then that's just a lapse in concentration. Too much space.
Had no one near him then, Jared McVeigh. The forward half stoppage. I don't think Mick would be happy with that setup.
Thomas in the middle of this.
Next Dale. Cheers, mate.
This worked so well. Bird got a whack in the nose and had a lot of blood coming from the nose, and getting that attended to now. Bit of hemorrhoid cream to stop the bleeding. Parker. Allard. Gee, over the top of him was McGlynn. Sharp hands Parker. Found Melcheski, who kicks it in favour of Reed, but Jamison beats him back and rushes the behind.
Hey, Lee, I want to ask you about Dale Thomas, who's a high-prize recruit coming across this year to Carlton. Is that kick's almost going to go out of bounds? So, free kick to Sydney. I'll come back. I just want to get your thoughts on where Dale Thomas is at.
So in the meantime, Kennedy has a look from right where the 50-metre arc intercepts the boundary line. Starts his approach, almost sitting on the pickets of the SCG. Kennedy. Won't be a goal, but it'll give them a chance of a mark, and across the front of the pack was Parker. He marks well for a little guy.
Yeah, he does, BT. Just floated across the front of the pack there. Great mark for his size.
Goes back and slots it for his second.
Where's his opponent there? Parker. He's just wandered in. No one went with him. And that's another lapse in concentration for the Blues.
Yeah,
Mike Pike did well, shepherding there.
Yeah, he did. I think Simon White was the Carlton player who just lost Luke Parker on that occasion. Love the confidence of Parker just to fly, regardless of who's around.
A 6-goal Sydney quarter in what before this was a really tight game.
Darcy asked before about that man, Dale Thomas, taking the ball over the boundary line. I'm prepared to give him a little bit of grace in his first season as he settles in to a new regime, a new bunch of teammates, new structure, everything like that. But I don't think he's had certainly the year that we expect him to have, it up to his absolute lofty standards that he set at Collingwood. But I think he's a player that is going to keep building, keep improving, and as some of these Carlton players get a little bit better around him, I think the next couple of years he'll still be a good pickup for the Blues.
Do you put that down to recovery from a long time out of the game, Lingy, or do you think...
Yeah, I think you've got to give him time with that. I mean, he's missed a lot of footy, and just takes that while to get the match fitness back and get confidence in your ankle, and as I said, get to know your teammates, get to know a different team. He'll still hit some pretty big heights over the next few years.
Basically had, I think, a year and a bit out, in and out of the game with that ankle.
And a horrific injury too, BT. Yeah. A lot of talk from surgeons that, you know, whether you fully get the power back. So it's a big challenge doing that and then changing club at the same time. So at his height, when Collingwood won the premiership, he was just a devastating player, wasn't he? Breaking the lines. And
that was his best year, wasn't it?
Their premiership year.
He was really good.
Yeah, he was. He was instrumental in that. There's Gibbs. Murphy. Look at the pressure Sydney apply. They've had a good quarter. They could easily relax on what they've achieved so far in this quarter. They forced the turnover, and now Gary Rowan looking to get it out the other side of the ground. And they decide momentarily against that, and now they go for it.
Oh, there, Brock.
I think it had to be perfect to Smith, and it was.
Moving on. Play on. You.
Kennedy. Off back. Never in a hurry. It has to be a real open opportunity for them to go, doesn't it? Jack to Jeddah. Good kick by Jeddah on his non-preferred, and Goods to finish. Goods to centre to McVeigh. McVeigh over the top to Buddy. They all get a touch of the footy, and Buddy has kicked 3 in the quarter.
Keep time in your lead, boys.
Oh boy, they've turned a 7-point lead at half-time into a 51-point lead 23 minutes later.
Gee, it's a complete unit, this Sydney team. They've got run, they've got great inside players, they've got great marking players. 7 contested marks this quarter they've taken.
Simpson off the back of the square. Perno and Melcheski.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Carlton, who really looked like they had a clear plan. They had some good matchups going. They winning their fair share of ball around the middle. It's just unravelled horribly for them in this quarter.
It has indeed.
And often we talk about Bryce Gibbs and Mark Murphy and those types of players needing to lift when Carlton are down a bit. I've loved the game of Bryce Gibbs tonight. He's had the 22 touches. He's had 13 contested possessions, 8 clearances, 5 tackles. He's just kept trying. His last probably 6-8 games for the Carlton Footy Club have been outstanding. He's really lifted himself to that next level. He just needs some more players to go along with him now.
There's Judd. Some real magic through traffic, and then a launching bomb. Minor score. Saw some stars of yesteryear here earlier. I saw David Rees-Jones with Wow Jones and Ange Christou and
Trudeau was
Kuda.
down there. Have they got a function up here? Have they?
May
Past
well
players
have a
function.
Past players thing on today. David Rees-Jones looks set. They look like they were going to take the world on tonight, those boys.
Rees. Yeah, wouldn't want to get stuck with Rees all night. That is a fight. You can't win that one.
And he was a gun player for both of these clubs, David Rees-Jones.
Norm Smith medalist.
Yep. Jack. Selling hand candy like no other, and then the pinpoint pass to McGlynn.
Ready, Mark. Come back on. Move it on, play on.
Downfield to Kennedy.
Still got Tippett and Hanbury. Reece Shaw. It's pretty scary, isn't it, when you think about it? You've got a gun forward, a gun-running defender, and a all-Australian midfielder to come back in.
Yeah, Brock McLean with a knockout stat there. Thomas was going to take them on. In the end, he kicked it straight into the guts. I think it was Melcheski that copped it.
And that's where I just think, I asked the question of Lingy, I just think he hasn't quite got that extra bit of turbo to put the foot down. I think a few years back he would have gone there and he would have just taken on, gone through the middle. He may have got caught, but he might have got through. So it's still just taking him a while to get that real speed back and that zing in his game that made him one of the best players in the game.
There's the 342 gamer, moving past Chris Grant's games record tonight on the all-time list. Is he going to keep going? This time of the year we talk about retirements and who goes and who doesn't. Does he go again?
Yeah, I think so. No sign from me that Goods' time is up. He's got all his athleticism still.
McGlynn just kicks it into space again for Buddy to double his man around the back. A little handball out the back here. I think that was to the first gamer in Towers, and he missed an opportunity for his first goal in footy. It was a gimme.
He's not going to get a better chance.
Would have been good on the highlight reel coming from Buddy too.
Richo, that's something else you've got to admire about Buddy. I know a few full forwards, maybe one either side of me, who might have just doubled back on the left and hooked that one over the shoulder. He always gives them off, Buddy, when they're in the right spot. Always happy to share it around.
Only if you absolutely have to give them, do you give them, Das.
Have a look at the miss here. There it is. He could have straightened up and kicked the drop punt, went around the corner.
Right.
At least he didn't go along the ground. For the young man, Dean Towers.
Play on.
From Colac.
Yes. Luke Hodge territory. I believe Luke Hodge's brother's playing very well for the Geelong Falcons this year as well. One to be watched.
And captain of the Geelong Grammar football team, as well as the Geelong Grammar cricket team. Outstanding athlete, as Luke Hodge was. He was a
Bigger or smaller? A smaller Lingy.
bigger bloke
Yep.
than Luke, but Luke was a very good cricketer as well. But I think Dylan backs himself over Luke in both areas at the moment.
Has he got that nasty Luke Hodge sort of...
Oh, he's got
extra?
that nice bit of hardness about him.
A couple of good players coming out of the Geelong region this year. I believe the #1 draft pick, Lingy, may well come out of the same school.
Yeah, good St Joey's boy. He's now at Geelong Grammar, but he was at St Joey's. Paddy McCartan, VT, chance to be #1.
There's Jeddah. Goes for the long ball. Buddy steadies himself, juggling, got it. Buddy has a chance to kick 4 in the corner.
And that's what we talked about at half-time, BT. You asked the question how Rowe and Jamison had been playing. We said good. They'd been able to beat him in the one-on-ones. That was a great contested mark. He did all the body work early in that contest on Rowe. It gave him the chance to be able to elevate at the footy.
You're right in line.
This kick does favour his left foot. 25 metres out, got to drop it perfectly. And nails it, kicked it hard, and he's kicked 4 in the quarter and 4 for the night.
Ed, just steady.
8-goal Sydney third quarter. He copped unbelievable criticism early on, didn't he?
It was ridiculous. He's coming up here to a new team. He's getting used to all new teammates, a new system. And because he didn't come up here and turn it on from the first game, people started almost writing him off.
There's the red vest, Lingy.
Yeah, the red vest has been taken off. Nick Graham is about to join in the game. He was just talking to Mick Malthouse, getting some final instructions. I think it's Doherty who's been subbed off for the Blues.
Okay. And we're yet to see Brandon Jack for Sydney, who's the sub there, but there he is.
Cheers, mate.
Nick Graham.
It's coming out. Separate. 1 metre, both of you.
Umpire asking for the 1 metre separation. Bit of tunnel ball played by Mike Pike there. Melcheski. The hands of Kennedy. Kennedy kept the hands free. Gave to Parker. Trying the squeeze, missed.
I reckon Mick will be seething at three-quarter time because in 1 quarter of football to go down -24 in contested possession, that is a smashing.
A quick apology to Sam Doherty. It's actually Allard who's been subbed off, so Doherty's still free to keep playing.
Made up 51 points just in this quarter, Sydney.
Here's Mark. Time back on.
Yeah, particularly when that Richo has been a real strength there. As the short one comes into Reed and having a look around whether he'll pass it off or go back for the shot. But I think that would have been the area that I said, you know what, we're good enough. We can compete around the contest to get smashed in that area in the third quarter. It's blown this game wide apart.
What about Lloyd, the young fella that kicked this footy to Reed? Played in 11 games, won 11 games. It'll be 12 and 12 tonight. There he is. Reed's got this one working as well. He joins in the fest, and he's got 4.
Thank you.
Not sure if they've kicked 9 1/4 this year, but that's Sam Reed's best return this year. 4 goals. 64 points. Nothing Malthouse can do from there. But explain and try and teach. Pike with a big thump, closing in on three-quarter time. 1 1/4 to go. Smith.
Does he ever get beaten, Nick Smith? Small defender.
Sort of does it every week, doesn't he?
Yeah. Just about the best small defender in the comp, I reckon. It's stopping.
Haven't seen much of Rampy tonight. Normally see a bit of him, just the 4 touches for him tonight.
Just gets the job done, though. The ramp too, the PT, they don't have to concern themselves with their medium-sized or small defenders ever getting beaten. They just always compete hard.
McGlynn looking for Buddy. Tui jumped in the way. Buddy saying just a little higher would have been nice.
5 1/4's a benchmark, isn't it? If you can get 5 on your own.
If you can kick 5 1/4, that's good going. Anyone that's kicked more than 5 1/4, Richo,
Have to be good.
be a star.
Yeah.
Well, have you?
No, I think you've kicked 6 of them.
Oh, I think I did from memory. The Sydney hierarchy going down, getting ready to address their team. Johnny Longmire, Stewie Jew there. 21 seconds, been an incredible quarter. No goals for Carlton in this quarter. In fact, just the one behind. 9-goal quarter. It will be as a minimum for Sydney. McGlynn trying to make that a little better. Here's Buddy.
He's going to do it.
Here's Buddy looking for his 5th of the quarter and goal number 10 for Sydney of the quarter after the siren.
It's a good kick by McGlynn. It's one of them balls that draws the forward up at the ball.
A 5-goal quarter for Buddy on offer here. A 10-goal quarter for Sydney. A 35-minute quarter and a 70-point lead on offer. Franklin drills it. That's a goal. Buddy's kicked 5. Sydney kicked 10 in the quarter. And unbelievably, Sydney, 25 minutes ago, led by 7 points. Now they lead by 70.
Best quarter of any side this year. 10 goals for the Sydney Swans. Kicked in the third quarter. Best term of the year.
16-10, 106 Sydney. Carlton 5-6-36.